Welcome to the 7997 podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Chris, and this is my lovely wife, Jackie.
Well, good evening.
And as always, every week we're just trying to get closer to each other and closer to you guys out there.
Mm-hmm.
And we
doing our part for humanity.
Are we?
Sure.
For the humanity that wants to live abroad and wants to think about all the fine details of living abroad that you may not get in that YouTube video where it's just a couple passing through and in a new city, a new town, a new country, every episode.
And all they do is eat.
All they do is eat?
And you be like, you want no culture, no.
And the ones that go to Chongqing, China, onto the street where there's nothing but food and they don't eat a single thing while they're there. I can't remember which channel it is, but I'll put it on the screen.
You've been holding that in for a minute.
I might just link the video so y'all can go to the video.
We were watching. We were like, so you're not going to sit down and have a dumpling? They walking past all this Peking duck, all this fried food. I mean, it was just amazing, glistening and saucy.
Chinese food wonderland.
And it's like, y'all not gonna have a bite to eat?
Not gonna eat nothing.
Not even a bubble tea?
Yeah.
Not even, okay, anyway.
So in short, we live here, we've been here, we're gonna be here for a while. We giving y'all the inside scoop about what it is to actually live here. Not just visit, not just vacation, but live.
Yeah, and even if you don't want to move abroad, sometimes you just want to learn something.
Sometimes you want to learn about somebody else's life someplace else. So those are the things you like. Hit subscribe, because that's what we give you.
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you. So on that note, if those are kind of things that you like and you're thinking about possibly moving here, we want to go over some of the types of people that we see that actually do move to San Miguel de Allende, Mexico in particular. And maybe you fit into one of these categories and might think, man, I'm that kind of person. Maybe I'll check it out. Maybe that's someplace I want to be. Or maybe none of these people even fit you, but you still kind of look at it and say, you know what, I still might like it down there. So just to give you a little outline of who's down here, who you might run into, some of the people, the personalities. And I think one of the first things you're going to find is that this is a artsy community, a hippie community,
free spirit,
and you're going to find a free spirit here.
Yeah.
Somebody who might just be passing through, just here for a couple weeks, maybe here for a couple years,
wearing yoga pants.
Yes.
Vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, just special diet needs people. And I'm not throwing y'all under the bus, but that's seriously,
that's the type,
it seems like they're in that group. You know what I mean? So
they feel in creativity some type of way. They're painters, they're singers, they're whatever. And I think even part of that group, which you may not think of, are PhD folks who come down and like, hey, I got to write this dissertation. I just want to be down here for, a couple months, write my dissertation, be in this environment, and then I'll be up and out. I'm going to go back to real life, and I'm going to get me a 6-figure job, and I'm going to go live wherever I'm going to live.
Yeah.
But it's a place where people tend to kind of pass through a little bit because I think it is just a easily welcoming environment. It's an environment you can come in very quickly. You can get a place to live without much effort. There's plenty of low-cost living here, and it's just a really warm, temperature-wise and people-wise community to kind of come into, and there's always something going on. So if you're somebody who thrives off of artist energy, creative energy, like there's plenty of that here.
Yep.
So to come down and soak it up for a little while and let that recharge you a little bit, a lot of people go down that route. So you're going to run into those folks here.
That
for
is
sure.
correct.
What other kind of people would you see here?
Snowbirds.
Snowbirds, for sure. People who are here part-time, who don't like the cold of Canada or Detroit or Vermont or Maine.
Yep, and they head
or Switzerland.
South.
We just getting out for the winter.
Yep. Wait a minute, time out. Guess what? I found out there's another group to that. I don't remember the exact name, so if y'all know the name, put it in the comments. But these are folks who live in southern states, i.e. Texas, where it's 110, 120 degrees now. They still will fly south in the summer. So I don't know if there's summer bombs or Firebirds, something like that.
Firebird.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
I like that. It's so cute.
Another one we'll add to the list.
Yeah.
That's what we got to get some t-shirts made of. Brown collar work, Firebirds, and Karens and Kens.
And Karens and Kens. Yeah. So that was another one. I just found out about this the other day.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay, Firebirds and Snowbirds.
Yes, escaping the harsh weather phenomenons of the north.
Because it's You'll get harsh weather here, i.e. heat, but you might get it for a month and a half. Outside of that, it's pretty mild for the most part.
And that's even rare.
Yeah.
Because when we were going through our heat phase this past May, it was about 4 to 6 weeks, and the locals are just like, this is not right.
Yeah.
It was totally abnormal.
Yeah.
There was no reason why it was 100 degrees, as a general statement.
Yeah.
So
global warming
is global warming.
Yeah.
That is correct. So those are definitely two groups getting out of nature.
Yes.
Trying to find some nicer nature.
So another kind of escaping people are doing is escaping the law.
Social unrest. Wait a minute.
I mean, it's a little bit of both.
No, you don't mean illegal.
I think there are people that are escaping the law.
You think so?
I think so. I have no proof of this. This is purely conjecture, purely theory.
Who you think
I don't know who it is, but
I'm gonna give it to tell me when we get off.
because you kind of see some people who are here, they don't really engage, they're kind of off in a corner, they don't really want to be noticed.
Nothing to see here.
And like we'll
Just
walk
having
around town with the
cappuccino.
camera in a second because we're trying to get content, and I'll see people see the camera and they're just
I'm out.
immediately turn away.
I'm out. Sombrero,
they
look at the
could just
brim.
not want to be on camera.
Yeah.
But it also could be somebody might be looking for me. Let me
Got it.
make sure I'm not on camera somewhere.
Witness protection.
Yeah. Wow. But also, as you said, social unrest. Maybe you're in a country where things aren't going so well. For us, that's America. For others, that might be El Salvador, might be Venezuela.
Yeah.
You just want to get out of wherever you are and come someplace a little bit nicer.
A little nicer and safer, right?
A little safer.
And believe it or not, even domestics, there are even some internal Mexicans who are like, they may live in a more dangerous environment.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I'm gonna go to San Miguel because it's, and I've met them. You know, I've met them. They tend to work for Uber. So when we start chatting and stuff, and they'll just say, yeah, where I was living was very dangerous, and San Miguel es muy tranquilo.
Yeah.
Everybody says that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
It's literally 45 minutes down the road is Celaya, and Celaya has become
is a danger zone,
a cartel, haven at some point.
Yeah.
So folks are trying to get out of Celaya for sure to come up here.
Yeah, get out of harm's way.
And I think, in general, the other kind of escaping is sort of like escaping the busy city. So there are folks that have come here from Mexico City, from Puebla.
Monterrey.
That just want, that slower lifestyle, a little quieter place to be. Aren't necessarily so hustle and bustle. And there's opportunity here. There's a thriving tourist culture. There's money to be made.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, just driving Uber or driving a taxi.
And just chill.
Just chill, simple
chill.
work, pick up money.
Hey, look, traffic is 7.5 minutes long.
Yeah.
Right? Seriously.
When it's bad traffic, that means I have to get out of Centro and get out to the outskirts of the highway.
Yep.
And I'm going to be in the car for 20 minutes.
Like literally, there's 2 highways, I guess, and you either go on to Celaya or you're going to Dolores Hidalgo. Like, you're welcome. You get 2 options. And there are no high rises, so it's just one of those towns. It's not a sleepy town. It's a real town.
Yeah.
And so you're not getting all that big city traffic and danger and
Absolutely.
It's so interesting.
Yeah. Then you also get a lot of people, Mexicans in particular, who have second homes here.
Oh, you better
Those
say
who
it.
are in the Mexico City, the Puebla, the Monterrey, who have big dollars. And I'm not necessarily leaving that city, but I want some place to escape to on the weekend. So I have a second house in San Miguel.
I'm glad you said that because especially the narrative in the States is that Mexicans are poor and all this kind of stuff. So negative, right? They got money. We've got to.
So we've told y'all about the cobblestone streets and the speed bumps. You'll see brand new Porsches, brand new
Benzes,
Ferraris,
BMWs,
Lamborghinis,
Land Rovers,
Teslas,
Rangers,
like that high off the ground. I know the bottom of their car is getting tore up on these streets.
down.
They don't care. They rolling in. And I'm looking at them. They're not American. They're Mexican.
Nope.
They got money.
Mexicans have money, and we need to understand that.
Absolutely.
Every group of people, you always want to have wealth and affluence. Period, point blank and simple. But absolutely. So for y'all who got that myth bust, believe me, it is real. They will come here, like you say, and they have a weekend home.
Yep.
Period. And you're welcome. And God bless them. I want to graduate into that phase one day.
I'm trying to get the first home off.
Man.
I don't know.
But anyway,
But I mean, actually, the way the housing is priced here, and even places like Southeast Asia, where you can go get a condo for like $300-400 a month, you could literally have a house here and go live
Somewhere
in Thailand
else.
or wherever.
You can.
And be paying less rent than you'd be paying anywhere else in the U.S.
Yeah.
Or in Mexico City or in Monterey.
Yeah.
So you can make it work. If you want a second home, you can make it work.
You could do it. You got to be very creative, though.
Yeah.
Very much creative.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be grand vacation house on the beach. It might just be a small condo in a city somewhere. But you can make it happen.
You can make it happen.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, I got a group of folks who I want to share too. Are those who are looking for... they may have an alternative lifestyle, and Mexicans, like I've even heard Mexicans say, "We just mind our business," and it's like we don't really care. You know what I mean? So it's not that they are necessarily embracing your lifestyle. They're not going to bash you for your lifestyle. And other countries, some countries are not like that. You know what I mean? America being one. You know, where people can get really
Depending
hurt.
on where you are, you
can get hurt. So. That is definitely a group of people I've met here. You know. Yeah. I find it to be very interesting. And it also speaks to the community that you know you can feel safe. You know. That's all we want, right?
I would say probably the biggest community outside of locals that are already here that you'll find coming into San Miguel, particularly over. Well, I was going to say for a permanent basis, but really even passing through, is people that are looking to change their way of life. So
I was going to say retirees.
I mean, that's kind of fits in that same subject. It's a different, I think, mindset. Whereas for sure you're going to get a lot of retirees here who can have their retirement money stretch further here and really just have a really nice place to retire. Because a lot of times when you're trying to retire, you want to think about, I want to be someplace where I can enjoy it. And I may not want to be in the town I grew up in or worked in for 30 years.
Because even without a 401k, you can be comfortable here.
Right. So people that want to change their way of life could be, I'm working 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, and now I'm ready to retire. And we're going to come down to Mexico because my money's going to stretch further, and I love the environment. Now, with vacation in Mexico all the time, and now I get to actually live there and be a vacation every day. Or also people like us, I think, that have looked at trying to get out of the rat race somewhat, trying to live a digital nomad lifestyle, quote unquote, a way to kind of work remotely, earn money someplace else, work here, and have a better cost of living and a better lifestyle on the budget that you have. So people who are really just trying to understand that maybe the way you're living isn't the way you want to live, and you don't see another
stressful
option in the U.S. to live the way you want to. So you're looking at other countries, Mexico or wherever, as an option to say, hey, that cost of living is going to afford me a different lifestyle that I really want to live. And my money can stretch further. And, you know, everybody's looking for a better life at the end of the day.
Because like you said, I mean, if we, you know, get really, really crunched, right, our electric bill is $10. I mean, you can just go and ask somebody, can I have $10? And somebody will give you $10. So it's easy to recover versus Duke Energy at home, and your minimum bill is going to be $125, $150. You know what I mean?
So utilities are cheap. You know, if you go to local markets, you can get really inexpensive food. You know, we pay 15,000 pesos a month
for rent.
If it got crunch time, we could scale down to a 1-bedroom apartment somewhere and pay way less than that if we wanted to. So like you have options, whereas in the U.S., like it doesn't feel like there's any way for you to scale down on
somebody's basement. Which is not a bad thing.
You gotta go back to mom and dad's house or something.
And this is not
if mom and
necessarily
dad
a
have
bad thing, right? But it is definitely easier to survive. To
survive, to be able to make adjustments for what may happen in your life, and to be in control of your own destiny here, I think, is a lot easier to do for a lot of people. Whereas back home, you're always at the mercy of somebody else. The mercy of a paycheck, of a bill, of a debt, of a mortgage, of a job.
2-hour commute.
A commute.
All that. It's a lot. Car note, all of it. You know, it was so interesting too, you know, because we look at other people's channels, other, you know, expats, and we're really just trying to shed that weight you know, all the demands that America has placed on us. And it seems like they're when they really got into the pinnacle of their freedom, I'm debt free, y'all. I finally paid off my last credit card. Oh my gosh, you know what I mean? And it's the American way, right? It's like, it is just horrible. Yeah, it really is bad. Yeah, it is bad. So that's probably the biggest group that's trying to shed that, get rid of all the entrapments. Yeah, yeah. You know,
and I think the more I think about it, the mindsets that we have now are possible in the U.S., but I think once you've gotten so far ingrained into the system
debt culture,
of the debt culture and the cost of living and having to be someplace that's accessible, and
you gotta have a walk-in closet.
Right.
The kids gotta have walk-in closets. The kids gotta have their own room.
Right.
Kids gotta have their own bathroom. And I'm not judging y'all, but that is what we're programmed.
Oh, we had the same thoughts too.
Right, but it's like is 2-bedroom is no longer. And grandma and granddad them raised 10 kids. Yep. In a 2-bedroom house. Sometimes a 1-bedroom, depending on where y'all come from. Yeah. But no, now we got to have a 4 or 5-bedroom house with a loft, with walk-in closet.
Everybody's got to have their own bathroom.
He shared, she shared. The dog got his own little space. You just be like, really, guys?
I swear in those renovation shows, we made something special for the dog. We got a dog washing area and a built-in sink to fill up the water in his bowl. Like, you put all that extra plumbing cost into just filling up the dog's water bowl?
It's the American way.
It's too hard for you to take the bowl over to the sink now?
It is the American way.
So like once you even realize that, hey, I could have a mindset that is less expensive, it's very difficult to get yourself into a position, particularly if you got a family. If you're just by yourself, you can kind of let some things go and make that transition. But with a family, like, everybody's comfortable, everybody's got a standard of living they're used to. You want to maintain that as much as possible.
And the culture is keeping up with the Joneses. So it is very hard to be a 6-figure earner and to live in just a regular kind of a community where the homes prices are probably $300,000 or less. When you know you can afford more, right? And it's hard to just have a little Toyota Camry that's 15 years old when you know you can afford a Benz or Audi or whatever. It's hard. It is very, very hard. You know what I mean? But that's the trappings, and it's either you get trapped or you escape it. You know, either by disciplining yourself and going, okay, I'm just gonna stay focused. It's all good. You know, this smaller is okay. Living beneath my means is okay, and being comfortable in your skin doing that. Or like us, we left, you know what I mean, just for a new start. So it's interesting, but it takes work and discipline to do it either way. Yeah. So what group do you belong in?
I'm a little bit of a couple of things. Definitely going to try and change the lifestyle, change cost of living. Definitely a creative who comes down, and I wouldn't necessarily call myself a free spirit, but I definitely feed off the creative energy that's here. So I think those will be probably my 2 groups. Eventually I'll probably be in a retiree group. Okay. I don't know if I necessarily retire to San Miguel per se, but would want to get away somewhere to retire where my money was stretched further. But I mean, do you feel like you're in a different group than one of those?
I'm in the I want to be safe group.
Okay.
Yeah. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
So that leads us to the question of, what group are you guys in? Do you fit into any of these groups? Are you thinking about it? Are you already on your way? Are you already here? Leave a note in the comments. Are you in one of these groups? If you are, identify yourself. If you're not in one of these groups, and maybe you have a different viewpoint of why you may be leaving where you are and going someplace new, leave us that note as well, because we really are interested to know. So, as always,
Nosy Rosie. Hey!
Like, comment, subscribe.
Cuídate.
Arias Garce. Take care and take a chance.
Go buy some swag.
On that join button.
Membership.
Take care to hit it.
Y'all, we growing up and we just moving on up to the east side.
It's called monetization.
It's a blessing. Congratulations.
It's called sharing value with others and being rewarded for that value.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be able to give you guys some value, and I know you guys have given us plenty of value back, not only monetarily, but just in your engagement and education with us.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, so until next time,
Cuídate.
Arius Garce, take care and take a chance. Peace, y'all. This is the 7997 Podcast, your home for raw and honest conversation, featuring Chris and Jackie, with new episodes every Sunday, wherever you get your podcasts.